Hello everyone, welcome to the Blizzard Breakdown Preseason Edition. This is where we're going to go through everything that happens in the Community Snowball Cup.
Woo!
Yay! Alright, so for today's guests, we have the captain of Pachamari Rangers, Shaffler.
Yo, Shaffler, aka Shaffler I'm cool, aka best flex support in the league, aka Jacob, aka go next.
Alright, we go next. We have the manager of Pride, BobRoss.
Hello.
And then we have a player for reverse and production member, TheCopyDog.
Yo, what's up?
How are you guys all doing today?
I know you're the Shaffler.
I got my
What?
final mouse today, dude.
What did I do?
Oh, I'm happy.
You just had to plug everything in all at once.
I didn't plug anything, I was just going by all the things I go by.
TV/BobRoss_OW.
Ooh. Can we plug our... I don't have anything to plug. I
Feels
you
bad.
too.
TV/TheCopyDog.
Alright, so let's just jump right on into it. Let's break down Pride. BobRoss, if you want to take it away, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a good team. Smile.
Okay, so we have for tanks, Critical, Astra, and Shane. DPS, why is Acronator?
Acronator is not a DPS.
I give SilentSword one job.
Dude, you should have seen him. He was popping off with Junkrat and Scrims, dude. No leaks, but he's kind of nuts.
So the DPS and healer spots are swapped up.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yikes.
But Acronator, Lilithian Quantum are all supports, and Jaguar, Shifting, and Silver Star are the DPS.
We'll fix that in the after. We'll fix that in the after.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I built a pretty good team. I built a small team on purpose. I wanted only like certain subs, and I wanted like a main starting 6. So yeah, that might bite me in the ass, but I don't think it will. It hasn't so far, and we've had some really good success in Scrim so far, and we're all gelling as a team quite nicely.
Nice.
Yeah, we have a really nice coaching staff, so
Good
they're
to
doing their
hear.
best work. Yeah. Surprisingly enough, not too many cooks in the kitchen, as Zach has once said. And yeah, I think we're gonna be good. We're gonna be a really good team. No, you know what? No, I don't think we are going to be a good team.
Ooh.
We will be a good team, I should say.
So you guys ready to tear apart his team?
I'm ready to tear apart.
I'm ready.
Alright, I'll CopyDog go first.
Alright, my biggest concern is the tank line. I think this might be one of the weakest tank lines in the league. I'll just say it right here. Astra, he's a good player, but he's inconsistent, and I absolutely know nothing about Shane, which is like a bad thing because I know a good amount of tanks in this league. So
Shane was the better double clap tank.
I agree, but no. I agree with the tank thing. But Shane, I played with him. He's a really, really good calmer, which is something you don't find in main tanks a lot. It's a lot easier to teach someone how to play rather than just to talk forehead, because it's like a personality trait. So if someone doesn't want to talk, then they're not going to talk. But if Shane is coachable and you get some good coaching staff, that tank line could go from like one of the worst, like looking now, maybe one of the worst in the league, to like coachable and looking better. Because I know they both talk a lot. And that's like the biggest thing, especially at this rank. Like, not everybody's great, but if you can get people who talk, that's like finding a diamond in the rough, you know?
That's true. Yeah, I could agree with that.
Yep.
Also, I don't know who Jaguar is, so I'm not going to comment on your DPSs, but I know Shifting and Silver Star are both really good. Lilith is kind of a bot. I'm kidding, okay. You probably got the best mid support in the league. For flex supports, I've never really... I've seen Quantum play. I think he's like average. He's still pretty good, though. So I wouldn't say that your supports are bad, but I think you got like a pretty good team.
I'm not too high on Acronator. I shot on him in scrims. He's not that good. That's just my opinion.
That's what I was gonna say, is that if one of these supports are gone, I'm pretty sure Acronator's the sub.
Yeah, that's what I'd...
Yeah.
Yep. I just worry about him being the sub, because no offense to Acronator, he's not great at the game.
He's not, but he knows a lot about the game. So, well, that doesn't necessarily translate to good play style. I think like he'll know enough to I don't know, to like carry us, you know.
Oh, are we allowed to say the no words?
No. There's only one
that-
no word.
Okay, cool.
The add-on
Oh.
word.
Oh, can I say it?
Ooh.
They'll
No.
just cut it out? Oh.
I can
I
cut it out.
mean, sure, I'll put dolphin noise over it. So that was Pride. On to Bahama Mamas. So this team has already gone through a lot of drama. But for tank line, they have Bunny Chan and Destined. For DPS, they have Quaz, Commercial, and the Platinum Bow. And then for supports, they have Exotic, Emkey, Gumsauce, and Joltzor, which this is the only manager that didn't get back to me on which role each person was playing. So I put them on what they signed up as. I believe Joltzor might be also a DPS, but I could be wrong.
He played
I think
some.
he's support. I don't know. I don't know. My first impression of this team is
The worst in the league?
Yeah, I don't know why, but I thought it was better when I made my predictions. But like their tank line, Bunny Chan's good. Like we were gonna pick him up as a backup to Z Power or something, but then he got taken. Like okay, and Destin, I'm guessing gonna be the main tank. I don't know anything about him. I know, isn't he the captain of this team, right?
Yeah, he's the captain.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually think Bunny's playing main tank, and then
Oh.
Destin's off tank.
Oh yeah, do you know what? Do you know what the thing is? Bacon. Destin put Bacon on May duty because no one else wanted to do it, and Destin wanted to be a starter. So they put their best off tank on a different role, and that's why Bacon left. Just some juice in there.
Yeah, I'm looking at their DPS line. A commercial. I actually was gonna pick him up as a late round steal because I think he's really good. Actually, it's just aiming good, so I think he's good. I think the strong suit of this team is definitely the DPS line. Like Platinum Bow's okay too. I've never seen Kaz or whatever his name is.
I can say that Kaz might be the best Widow in the league.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's and the problem for me is that Quaz and Commercial, probably their two best DPS, play the exact same role. So that's what's worrying to me. Like, I talk to Commercial a lot because I used to be his manager. He's telling me that they're trying to put him on May and stuff like that, roles that he's not used to. So I'm really concerned for this team, especially. I have no hopes for this team whatsoever. Maybe their support line can do something, but like I don't want to leak stuff. But I just don't think this team's going to be that good.
I was gonna say about their support line. I don't know who Exotic is. Emkey, I'm not a big fan of. Like I know a lot of people like him for his main support. I think it's average, and his comms are kind of aids. Like he complains a lot. And Gumsauce is a really, really good flex support, but I think he's more committed to his open division team. So I don't know how committed he is to this team. And Joltzor is just he's okay, he's good, but like nothing special.
I talked to Gumsauce a lot. He says he's going to be more committed to open division. He's not sure how well he'll gel with Bahama, so he'll see as time goes by. But I don't think he'll stay on the team very long.
Now, I would want to actually just say that I got to spectate one of their scrims against another Snowball League team, and I will say that these guys are surprisingly good.
Well, I think they were trialing players in that scrim.
No,
they weren't.
Not from the one I saw. It was everybody that is on this roster right now.
Wow. Okay.
So they were surprisingly competitive, and it was very interesting.
On paper, I don't think they're very good. But
I don't either. I was very surprised.
But then again, nobody thought Papega was very good at the beginning of
the
season.
True.
Go Papega.
So I still have a little bit of faith in this team, but that's only purely because I've seen things.
Yeah, until they prove to me that they're good, they're going to be in the bottom for me every game.
Yep.
I still rate them as the bottom because I haven't seen them in an official match, but yeah.
Luckily, we played them week 1, Smile.
All right, so we're good to head on to the next team?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
All right, the next team is Da Boys, or Brick Brain Boys, or
this
Wi-Fi Warriors.
This team is really scary.
Yeah. This team is probably the best.
So going through the roster, for tanks, they have Apple, the manager. They have Pigeon, Farhan, or Stewie, as most of us know him, and then Doofenshmirtz, or Dempsey, as we know. DPS, they have Magical, Bernard, MJVT, whatever you want to call him, Squirrel Ben, Fordle, and then for supports, they have Kilo, EMP, and Underdog.
I think they have a really good tank and DPS line. I'm just not too sold on their healers very much.
I'd actually argue that point. I think their healers are the best part of this team. EMP,
I think their healers are really good. EMP might be the best main slash
support.
flex support, just in general. Maybe with Lily, but like I was just scrimming with him. We liked him a lot. He got picked up a little bit. I think he got picked up like a few picks before we were going to take him. But
Yeah.
and Kilo's really good too. So I think the
Kilo's really
supports
good.
are good. I would say their DPS is probably the weakest point because I don't think Magical is going to be. He says he was planning on just being a backup because he's like the manager of an open division team, and so it's mainly going to just be Squirrelben and Fordle.
I think
And I don't-
Stewie as well, because we scrimmed against the boys a couple times. Stewie was playing DPS then, so I think Stewie
Okay.
might be the DPS player, and then they'll just have Apple and Pigeon.
Really?
Actually, Pigeon said that he wanted to play DPS more.
I think he wanted on the sheet. It said he was a hit scan.
Oh, wow.
That's why I didn't want to.
I don't
pick him
know,
up.
but we played against this
Bad.
team. They're actually nasty. EMP was their best player in each of the scrims we played. I think this team is going to be one to fear for sure.
I think it's pretty known that this team is considered to be the number one team going into the season. I'm just interested to see if this team will still look the same as the season goes on. If they'll still be dominant as everybody believes they're going to be out the gate, or if they're just going to slowly slip, if they're going to continue. I just think this team's going to be one of the top ones at least.
Yeah,
I don't- My thing is, I don't know how much coaching they have, if at all.
That's
True.
good
So
point.
I'm not much going to gel together that way. Or if they're just going to coach themselves, or...
Yeah, in terms of rosters on paper, my two the two teams I think are the best are teams that both have managers and captains playing that are both really good. Like this team with Apple and Stewie, and then that team we're going to be talking about next with Always and Ranter. I think they're both the best teams just because you got two really, really good players already on your roster before the draft even started.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're good to wrap up with the boys then.
The boys.
Duh,
Boys.
boys. So next up is Reverse. CopyDog, this is your team, so if you want to introduce them, go ahead.
Yes, for sure. So for our tank line, we got Penguin and Kai on the main tank, me and Surmi as off tanks. I think our tank line is pretty nuts. Kai can't play until after week 1 because he's a Papega. But then for our DPS, we have Charm, McCree, Sloth, Oasis, and Grim. A pretty stacked DPS line, if you ask me. And then for healers, we have Waifu and Ranter, and then Gino as a backup.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think no offense, Penguin knows I love him. I think your main tank and your main support is the biggest thing to worry about. I don't really see because we're getting into an Orisa Sigma meta, and
Yeah.
I know Penguin loves to play ball, but that's not really useful. Surmi I know is really good at whatever he'll play, but your main tank is kind of a question, and your main support I'm not gonna dice or whatever the hell you want to say on Waifu Warrior. I just think that there's better main supports out here, and on a stacked team, some point has to be the weak point, and I think it's just your main support and main tank. Also, I know you have. I was gonna say DPSs, but I don't know how flexible they are because I don't know who's gonna be playing what on your team, but I know McCree is gonna. Isn't he getting his computer taken away or something? I'm not sure.
Something like that.
Oh, he's... Okay. Okay. Since he dipped from me from being coaching, he said that he wanted to be a free agent because he can only play after 10 p.m. So...
That makes sense,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
I mean, we're still trying to figure out the roles for the team, but I think our biggest problem, because I'm just going to be honest, is trying to adapt to this new meta. I think if it was a dive meta, we'd be the best team in the league. I would say that 100%. We're still trying to get used to this new meta. That's probably our biggest learning curve right now. So even though we might not be the best to start off with, I think if the meta shifts in any way, we'll probably be the best team.
Yeah, that meta talk was sort of the thing that I was sort of looking at when I say that I think reverse is a little bit overrated here. Because I don't know how good of a Sigma you have, and then I don't think I've ever seen Kai or Penguin play Orisa to begin with.
Mhm.
And you look at the DPS line, and you think, wow, Grim, Widowmaker, Oace, Pharah, Sloth, Pharah, and none of those heroes are really thought to be meta yet. It's looking like a Symmetra, and with Widowmaker and Pharah against the Sigma, Sigma's really able to zone them out
Mhm.
and deduce their ability, which is, I feel like the DPS is the strongest part of this team, and if there's a meta that's stopping their DPS players, I'm not sure how confident I am in it.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that as well. I think our biggest point for the team right now is just trying to adapt to the meta. But as soon as we either adapt to the meta or the meta shifts, I think that we'll be ready for it.
Anything else to add?
Renter is good at video game.
Ranter, please go, Anna.
That's
All right. Let's move on to the next team, which is Squirtle Squad.
Oh, I forgot they existed. Hold on, let me look around.
So for their tank line, they have Pixels, Knave, and Average. DPS, they have Cheddar, Colby, Obum, and Neo. And for supports, they have Shadower, Noir, who is G-Man, Rugrat, and Norse.
Okay.
Zach, I want
So-
you pause. I want you to rant on Norse for a bit here.
All right. So there's a reason Norse was benched on Busan Bloom, right? 1, his coaches didn't like him. 2, he was worse than G-Man. 3, he can be very annoying. All right? We may have the same personality, but that doesn't mean I like my own personality, right?
Nice.
Is D-tier player. Change my mind.
Oh my god.
Oh, he's also muted for a week because he added everybody.
Nice.
Oh,
Nice.
true. Yeah, I think the Obum and Cheddar and Neo are. I don't know much about Colby, but I know those three are really, really good.
Yeah,
I'd
I heard
also like
someone
to
say,
point out-
yeah.
That was all jokes. I love you, Norse.
Just get that out of the way.
I heard there's talking about Obum being like the best hit scan in the league. Like I've never seen him play, so I wasn't really like too high on him. Like, but I heard he was really good. I don't know what Pixels, like what position he
I
plays.
think he's main tank.
main
Main
tank. Well, that's kind of, I don't know, because Average is I also heard he's one of those players that's going to be more dedicated to his OD team.
Oh.
And one thing, the only person like I have this list that I know about that I'm not a big fan of is Shadower on the support, because we had private pugs and we are just kind of inviting random people because why not? And we invited him, and his comms were just kind of either complaining at the team or complaining in general, and just like having someone on that team kind of brings down morale. And I don't know how long he's going to be on the team unless he could turn his attitude around.
Yeah, but I think so. Cheddar used to be a flex DPS before he transitioned to hit scan. So I think if this team, because they have Obum, I think just like if this was a double sniper meta, Cheddar is Hanzo is like actually nuts, and Obum is a pretty good widow. So like if this transitions to a double sniper, Squirtle could definitely be one of the best.
I also think they have a lot of flexibility because I mean Colby is primarily a Pharah player as well, and then Neo is more of like a flex DPS. So they have almost all like DPS covered here with pretty solid players.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
This is the team that I know like the least about. Like I don't really know too many people on this roster.
Yeah,
like comments
same.
about it.
I think right now, I think their weakest point might be their flex support, but other than that, I think this team looks pretty good on paper. Like like mid tier, maybe higher than mid tier.
I would personally say it's probably their main support because flex support covered by both G-Man and Norse.
I thought G-Man was a main support. Sorry, it's flex of mine. But yeah, I thought G-Man was a main support. Then I think main support's the weakest, whichever one G-Man's not on.
Yeah, both G-Man and Norse are flex supports that are really damn good.
Okay, yeah, I just got the thing mixed up. My bad.
Knave is sort of a question mark for me.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what he is.
I know that he's a main tank, and I've
Yeah.
heard that he's really good, but I've never seen him.
That's true. I like it's the same way. I heard like Nave is good, and then we had Giz like in one of the pugs, who's like a flex support player, played main tank, and he kind of boomed Nave. But Giz is also really good, so I don't know how much that says, but yeah.
Any other comments?
Nah, I think that's it for Squirtle Squad.
I kind of forgot they existed, to be honest, but yeah, they seem pretty okay.
I think they're mid tier for sure. They could be
Yeah.
higher, they could be lower. We just have to wait and see. It's definitely one of the question mark rosters in my eyes.
I feel like everything about here is just wait and see, because there's a lot of players I just don't know enough about to give a proper opinion on, such as Squirtle Squad.
All right, so let's move on to No Weebs.
Oh boy.
So at tank, they have Epic Shock, Rockcrass, Mentos, and Taz 21.
Oh boy.
For DPS, they have Jubby J or Jubby Gay, Nate, also the second BobRoss,
The better
Major
BobRoss.
Suck, Vegetal, and then Perner. And then for support, they have JRG, Octo, and Pew Pew.
Hold on, can we get an F in the chat for Tanic B?
Dude, that's a
in the
rip.
chat.
The first overall pick on a coach. Unlucky. Dude, even with that happening, like their DPS line is like really stands out to me.
Yeah.
Like they Jubby J, Stanley, and Vegetal. I haven't seen much from Perner, but those are all like really talented players. Along
I heard
with
this is a Toker All-Star or
Who?
something. Perner?
oh.
Yeah. When
Well,
I look at this roster, the first thing I notice is the support line with Octo and Pew Pew. I rate Octo very, very highly. Just from playing against him, he's probably like I played against like a lot of teams and a lot of players. Octo might be the most annoying player I've ever played against.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, he shut me down so many times. Like he knew exactly what I was doing. Like he read me like a book. And like usually that's like harder to do for players like in the goats meta, and I know it's not goats, but still I rate Octo like really highly just for that. Like he shut me down so hard, and I have to rate that for a good reason because I think I'm a good player. So,
and along with that note, like their tank line seems kind of weak in my opinion. Like the only thing I've ever seen Epic Shock play and do good on is ball, which there maybe isn't. I don't know. Probably isn't going to be a lot of. I haven't seen anything from Rockcraft. Mentos just seems like an average main tank who like might have a lot of knowledge on the game, and I have not seen anything on Taz. I know he's one of those players that we just shot an invite out to on our private books because he was like a high SR, but we never saw him play, and he never joined, or he did join, but I never really got to see him play. So I'm not sure how good he is, but like if their tanks can play okay, then I think this could be a really good team.
Yeah, I think Rock and Taz might be some of the weaker off tanks in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know anything about Mentos, and I know Epic Shock was a ball one trick for AKM, but I don't know anything about him after that.
So I've actually played with Epic Shock on teams before, and I can confirm that he is not a ball one trick, but his best character is indeed ball. To most teams, like from watching from an outside perspective, teams either love Epic Shock or absolutely hate him as a main tank.
Yeah.
I could see that. I feel like if there's a team that's gonna be like the Shangdu Hunters and just go completely off meta, I feel like having an Epic Shock on ball could be like very deadly if they are able to be successful not playing meta.
I also feel like this is that team that is going to be off meta, because looking at their DPS, Jubby J, primarily a Pharah player. Nate, almost purely a Doomfist player. Vegetal, primarily a Widow player. Perner, I have no idea to be honest, but their DPS are very selective.
I don't know, Vegetal can play a really good Genji.
Can he?
Oh yeah, no, his Genji is I've played a lot with Vegetal. I mean, we played against Reddit Lucio a lot, and I used to be in Reddit Lucio. Vegetal's Genji is pretty nuts. Also in private bugs. I think his Genji is pretty good.
But still, very selective DPS line.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I feel like if there's a team that's going to be like the Shangdu Hunters and just not play meta, I feel like the most successful one would be No Weebs, because they have the players to do it.
I think No Weebs is like the most stable team, like the one that's like has a firm top half, I guess, finish.
Yeah, this is definitely a top half team, but I'm not sure if I would put them at number one yet.
Yeah.
Oh no, I wouldn't either.
All right. Any other comments?
No.
Like, okay, with the loss of Tanic, it makes me wonder if there's any like management problems going on over there. But I could be wrong.
I think it's just because he didn't want to play anymore. Because he's still going to be a coach on the team, so it's not like there was any hostility between him and the.
He just
the
said he didn't
management.
like the meta. I think I read something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah. To my knowledge, I think Tanic just wants to take a break. All right. Moving on. We're at the Kawaii Girls. Tanks are Jeej or Jeff, Cynthius or Volt Drive, and then Pichu. For DPS, they have DSI Syrup or Dad, who was meant to be on today, but we had to reschedule. Null, Kef, and Jolt are the other DPS. And then for supports, they have Painless, Skittles, and Axel.
Wait, who's on the show instead of Dad?
CopyDog.
Damn it.
Ouch.
Oof.
Ouch. I.
Well, it's like you can't say anything about Jeff because he kind of won League Zero on his back, carrying Platchet. About Volt Drive, I was really high on Volt Drive because I liked him a lot in terms of his gameplay. But I heard from multiple sources that he's a really toxic player.
Yeah, I
and
can.
he tilts.
As someone who's been on his team, he is a terribly toxic player.
Yeah, I testify to that.
I also joined that team 2 days before he left the game mid-match. So I have very little experience, but very bad experience with him.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking about KY so far. I think their tanks are one of the weaker I think Jeff is a really good main tank, but from what I've heard, like other than Reinhardt, his other tanks are like really weak. He's probably the best Rein in the league, but is Rein meta right now? I don't know.
I mean, I would argue that his Winston is really good. His Orisa is okay, but again, it comes down to, especially with main tanks in this league, just comms, and he comms a lot, which is really good for main tank to have.
One problem I've like seen, because they were our first scrim together with ever. They're two off tanks. I love Pichu to death. Like, don't get me wrong, but they both have really they're very tiltable, which is like might throw them off a little
But
bit.
does Pichu tilt?
She doesn't tilt. She just kind of gets mad at herself. And
So she's
Kinda
like
like-
Kids Go.
no, I think she's a less extreme version of Kizgo.
Oh, okay. Happy belated birthday, by the way.
Yeah, Pichu.
Happy birthday, Piju.
Um,
I think the off tanks are one of the weaker points. I don't rate Volt Drive at all. I think he's one of the lower ones in this league. And then for Pichu, I heard she's just a diva one trick, and other than that, she can play other tanks all right, but especially in this meta, which is probably going to be Orisa Sigma, can't she pick up that Sigma? So it's like, I don't know.
mhm.
I don't think she can, honestly.
I don't
I
think
think-
either.
I think Volt Drive's going to be the one to play whenever they don't want a diva,
Yeah.
and
And I
Pichu
don't
will
think
be
that's
in when they need it.
I don't think that's good.
I don't really know yet, especially it's going to be very dependent on the meta. But I want to bring up how flexible their DPS line is.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
This
The
is
DPS line looks- the same time you say that, I agree with the top two, but Kef, like, I've only seen him play Widow, and Jolt, I've only seen him play Genji. But
so I've actually played with both Kef and Jolt, and they're just equally as flexible.
Yeah, I highly rate Kef.
I see the Kef one, but anytime I saw Jolt play anything that wasn't Genji, at least in pugs, he kind of did nothing.
I've been playing with Jolt a lot because me and him are good friends, and he's been picking up sim like really well. Like
That's good.
he's
He
he's
also-
a really good sim.
He also has a Widowmaker.
Yeah, he has a really good.
He
Widow
has
as
a
well.
really nutty Widowmaker.
But yeah, I can't say anything about Dad or Element Null because they're both, of course, really good at their respective roles. I know Dad's a really good Genji too. I haven't seen Element Null play in a while, but I know he's really good too, just because they're from the One Trick Wonder Boys. And their supports, like, just looking at it, I'm like, I don't really know. Painless is an okay main support he was on DC, and he kind of just was. He wasn't able to carry. He was kind of just there. Skittles AF, I don't know. Axel Paxel is another just okay, good support. And
I think-
especially coming now in these ranks, you got to be able to, like, carry your team with support if
So
you want to do something.
I was I was manager for Skittles and TOKR, and she's a pretty good player, but she doesn't comm whatsoever. Like, actually no comms.
Maybe they
Yeah.
just picked her because she's an e-girl.
Oh.
Yeah, looking at the supports, it's just like there aren't glaring weaknesses, but there isn't any like, oh, this guy is good, you know?
They
They're
are
just sort of
outside of no weeb. They have like the most balanced team.
Yeah,
Like they're
I
Yeah.
agree.
rounded in terms of skill.
I'd say they're very reliant on their main tank and DPS play, which can work, but it's gonna be rough.
I don't know, I feel like if they had a better off tank, I'd put this team like a slot higher, but I think their off tank is probably their weakest role.
I think any team that has to rely on their DPSs to carry is just gonna lose. Like, I don't know if anybody was paying attention to League Zero, but that's basically the one trick wonder syndrome where they had like 5 good DPSs, but they got knocked out in the first round because their tanks and supports weren't able to really do anything to complement their DPSs. That's why Pachamari's like big thing going to the draft was we want to get tanks first, and then supports, and then we'll worry about DPS later.
Yeah,
Because
because
there's so many.
there's way better DPS in this
Yeah.
league than there are tanks and healers.
I agree.
all right. Let's move on to Pachamari Rangers. Shaffler, this is your team, so
Yes.
take it away.
Okay, tank line. We got my boy OJ. You might have been a little surprised when we picked him, but we got word from our boy Ultra, who's probably was the best main tank in League Zero, and our coach Dave Adam liked him a lot too because he calms and he's pretty good as our main tank. Z Power, who was also he was League Zero MVP. He's really good too. And then League Zero champion Matt M as our tanks, and then Joey. That was kind of a meme pick because me and him have been friends for a really long time, and he's kind of just there because he's a god, and his profile picture may or may not be me with some kind of filter on it. Our DPS line consists of Nick, who I'm just gonna say he's probably the best projectile DPS in this league, and then Lethal, who if we can keep his ego and his toxicity down and get him to focus on playing, will also be a top tier DPS. And Dragoon's also really good too. And then for supports, both boys from Papega, Snowman as our main support, Giz or Yuri, who's like our full flex. We literally put him on anything, and he'll just win. And I'm also there. I don't know why I'm not on this list, but I'm also the flex support.
You give SilentSword one job.
Thanks, Silent. Love you.
Basically, our goal when we were building this team was trying to build for flexibility and availability. Like, pretty much everybody on this list has come to almost every scrim except a few. And that's the biggest thing is like you can get a good roster and you can get whatever you want, but if they're not flexible to the meta and they don't come to scrims or anything, rip BobRoss, your team's just not going to be able to grow as a team. And that's like one of the big things we wanted to have.
This tank line is nuts. I'm gonna just say it. You can get OJ and then either Z Power or Madam on that flex tank, and you have a nutty tank line.
That was our main goal, was get a good tank line and build around them.
Like I played with Orange Juice for a little bit and some pugs, and I'm like I worked really well with him because he's just really good. The tank line is definitely the most impressive part for me personally on this roster.
Coming out of the draft, I was really excited for the DPS. I don't really know Nick or Dragoon, just to say right out. I just know Nick for his brig, which I believe wasn't very good. But when I saw Lethal and Rod getting on the same team, I thought, God damn, they actually got together as a duo. And 12 hours later, Rod is banned from the league.
Well, leaks, but apparently he wasn't even able to play in the league anyway. So he just got himself banned. Because I was like, Rod was our second to last pick, pretty much our last, because Joy is our last too. And we're like, if I can get this really good DPS and maybe we can get him to behave, like if I can get Lethal Rod DPS combo, like it is our last like picks, and that's a steal. But then he got himself banned, so it didn't really work out.
Not 12 hours after the draft. And then, this is the team that is a complete question mark for me. I think a lot of people are sleeping on this team.
Good.
But at the same time, I'm not sure when it comes to Snowman, Dragoon, and Nick.
Well, the thing is, I don't. Okay, the Snowman and Dragon thing I get, but I don't know how people are sleeping on Nick since he was literally the best projectile in, or maybe best or second best in League Zero as a whole. And Epps, whom I would say is maybe be better, just because I don't know in general. I don't know, but I think there's not even a question that he's the best projectile in this league. Snowman I get because he hasn't really played much, but he was on Papega as our coach, so he knows a lot about the game, and he would fill in sometimes for scrims, and he is also on the OD team. So like just as like a flex support, main support synergy, I have a lot of synergy with him and a lot of synergy with Giz because they're all Papega boys. So I'm super excited for this team because I got a lot of Papega boys that were slept on just for synergy sake. Like we have four people from Papega, and yeah.
Any other comments?
No, I think that's it. Wonder where Bob went.
I wanted someone to shit talk my team so I could defend them.
Your support line trash. There you go.
Yeah, we don't have good flex support.
Rip. Oh wait, you're missing in the list.
But yeah, like just to speak, I mean, well, I don't know. I'm trying to buy time to see if Bob comes back. Like Giz, I picked him up so early because he can play flex support. He can play main support. He can play main tank. He can play off tank. He can play DPI. He could literally play any role you asked him to. Like on our scrims yesterday, we had him play main tank, and he did really, really well. Like he's like a super flexible. And usually when like you're talking about flexible, people are like, oh, they're just okay at everything. But like he's really, really good at a lot of stuff. And he plays hockey and he's attractive.
All right, so just to say, BobRoss had to leave because he got yelled at. GR.
Rip. I'll do his predictions for him.
Yep, we'll just move on to predictions now. So I'm going to be keeping track of this. So each week we're going to have one member from each division, a member of production or staff, and then me, the commissioner. And then we're just going to keep track of which group has the best prediction.
I probably should have taken these more seriously, huh?
Uh-huh.
your division right now scolding at you, SMH.
Wait, so I have a question. What are the, unless you answered it because I didn't check. What are the divisions? Like, what teams are in each division right now?
That's a good thing to cover. I'll throw something on the screen right now because it doesn't say anywhere.
Yeah. Does it not?
No, I didn't see it.
I'm pretty sure it's in the rules.
It's in the rules, but
yeah, I don't know it off the top of my head because it's a rare question that gets asked, and it's like this is the first time it was asked, like today.
Let me get after this.
I'll throw a graphic up there for the divisions and the edit.
Yep. So the control division includes Pride, Wi-Fi Warriors, which are now Da Boys, Full Weeb, which is now No Weebs, and Bahama Mamas. And then the escort division is Pachamari Rangers, Reverse, Low Bit Raiders, which is now Squirtle Squad, and Kawaii E-Girls.
Dang, we only have to worry about playing PR twice. That's nice.
What's that supposed to mean?
No, I'm saying that you guys are the only other good team in our division. So
you're reverse.
We don't have to go against No Weeb
or Squirtle. I was gonna say
like we don't have to go against No Weeb or Du Bois twice. We only have to go against them once.
Like nice. I think our first week matchup is like possibly like the two best teams already playing each other week one.
Yeah, I would definitely change my prediction right now to.
I see a lot of 4-0s, dude. I'm kind of hurt.
Yeah, listen, I'd put it 3-2. I totally forgot you guys had Z power.
You know, I debated 3-2 for a while, but it's just that I had too many question marks. But let's go game by game here.
Okay.
So we have Pride versus Bahama Mamas. We have two of us going Bahama here, and two of us going Pride. Pride is definitely the favorites in this one starting out, especially with a lot of their players being well-known and the drama that happened with Bahama. But like I said, I was able to see some scrims, and I have a bit of faith in Bahama here.
Yeah, I haven't seen any scrims, and I am very worried about Bahama. I think they need to pick up just a better off tank. They lost Bacon. That's not something that should happen to a team.
Like I think Pride's gonna be one of those teams that relies too much on DPS play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're like one of those teams that can destroy team 1 week. Like they can beat any team or they could lose to any team. I think it's one of these teams is like if you can just focus and like counter the DPS play, I think any team can beat them. But at the same time, if their DPS can avoid getting countered, I think they could beat any team. I just don't think they're going to be able to figure out how to free up their DPS in this game. I think Bahamas just going to win. I don't know, just a hunch.
I do not rate Bahama at all. I don't know if that's just a me thing, but just like hearing about what they're doing with their players, like in scrims, no leaks, but I have no faith in them.
If Bahama wins, I think it's just going to be purely off of skill.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And I did say that Pride are still the favorites. I'm just thinking this is going to be an upset here.
Okay.
Reverse sweep?
I'm not going to say a reverse sweep.
No.
I feel like if Bahama loses both the maps early, I think they'll get tilted.
Yeah.
So next game is Da Boys versus No Weeb.
Again, I just think the boys are a powerhouse. It's nothing bad against No Weebs. Like they could easily win this. Like I was thinking about just making a 4-0, but then I looked at No Weeb's roster. I'm like, I think this could go anyway, but I just think the boys like have the best roster on paper right now. And I just think you're an idiot if you go against them. Not even
Pachimari or reverse. I wouldn't predict us against them right now. They look so good.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised there's no 4-0s here, but at the same time, I've been able to see other stuff that No Weebs, they've been very dominant in scrims.
Yeah, we haven't played them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So I still believe the boys are going to take this one, but, I wouldn't count No Weebs out of this.
Yeah, so I think that might be one of the closest matches of the week, along with maybe this one, too, that we're about to talk about.
Yeah, this next one, yeah.
Yeah, this next one is my match of the week. We have Reverse versus Pachimari. Everybody is very high on Reverse, it seems, right now. While a lot of people just have a big question mark for Pachimari Rangers. I personally think this is going to be 1-3 in favor of Reverse, but I could see it going either way.
Yeah, see, the thing is, I mean, I'm all for being underrated. Like, I don't, like, it's okay. Like, that's what drove Papiga at the beginning of the season to play above where they were expected. But, like, I don't, like, we scrim Reverse. I mean, it was back and forth, but there's a meme in Reverse where they've tied every single one of their scrims, so.
Yeah, I haven't been able to play a lot of it, because
I don't know. I get people saying Reverse is going to win. I don't get the 4-0.
I just did that to not be biased. I'm going to just say that. Because I'm on Reverse. I just put 4-0 just to not be biased.
I feel like
that's... I think it could be a 3-2 in either direction.
Yeah, I mean, I think
game of the week.
It's hard. I think it comes, like, personally, like, I don't know. I think it comes down to the tank play because... like me and Ranter, in terms of flex support, we stack up pretty evenly against each other. Our DPSs on both sides are super even. I think it just comes down to
which tank line
outplay each other.
Yeah, which tank line shows up that day.
And I think it's gonna be us. That's why I predicted us to win.
All right. So let's move on to our final match, which is Squirtle Squad versus Kawaii Girls.
Yeah. And this is like the exact opposite of Du Bois versus the No Weeps. I think Squirtles, I guess this is more of, like, no offense to e-girls. I don't think they're that strong. And I think Squirtle Squad might be like the second worst or maybe third worst team. I think they're just playing an easy team. Like I don't like being toxic on these things, but like I don't know. Squirtle Squad's good. I just think they're benefiting a bit from, like, at least the talk around the league is a lot of people are saying e-girls are the worst team. Like, right, I don't want to say the worst team, but like lower tier right now. And maybe I'll buy my words because we're scrimming them today. Maybe they're going to roll us, but I don't see Squirtle Squad losing this.
I think it comes down to the tank line. I think in this meta, Squirtle Squad tank line is just going to outclass the tank line of Kawaii. That's just an opinion, but yeah.
I also feel like Kawhi is going to focus, because I already know how many coaches they have that are actually coaches. I feel like Kawhi is going to be one of those teams that slowly rises in the rankings. I just don't think they're going to be strong early on.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be one of those teams that wins off of chemistry and not skill.
It could also be one of those things where they're down 1-0, they get rolled the first map, and Volt Drive tilts, and it just spirals out of control from there. So I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of questions surrounding Volt Drive right away because he has a very bad reputation. All right. Any final comments on anything?
I'm excited, dude. I'm so excited for this league to start. It's gonna be awesome.
I too am excited. I was trying to think of something funny to say, but I can't. I'm just gonna leave it to you.
All right. Well, that's going to be it for our very first Blizzard breakdown. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, CopyDog, BobRoss, and Shaffler for all coming.
Whoa, we're gonna thank BobRoss, dude. He left early.
He left,
like,
dude.
He should be dead to us. He should be. Actually, I was gonna, I was gonna have a bone to pick with BobRoss because he picked Silver Star when we wanted to pick him. So I hate BobRoss. So screw BobRoss.
Well, the toxicity comes out. So we'll join you guys once again after week 1. See you then.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye. Make sure to call your grandmas.